Mantle of the presidency, William Ruto has cast himself as a champion for the poor, pledging to, among other things, establish a progressive tax regime. This has been evident when he directed the National Treasury to cut some 300 billion shillings from the 2022-2023 budget to relieve Kenya's spending and borrowing pressures. But how will he do that in his 5-year tenure? Our very own Stanley Nyaringita had a chat with the former Commissioner General of the Kenya Revenue Authority, that is Michael Waweru Gitau, to pick his mind on the lessons the Kenya Kwanza government should borrow from the late President Mwai Kibaki's impressive tax regime. Let us listen.
Very good evening to you, and thank you for keeping it TV 47. Indeed, my name is Stanley Nyaringita, and today we're having some tax lessons to get to know with the taxes and how they are. And with President William Ruto wanting a fair playground on his tax regime, how is this achievable? And tonight we are joined by Michael Waweru Gitau, the former General Commissioner of the Kenya Revenue Authority, to shed light on us. Now, this is a man who, pivoted the revenue collection in the country back in the late former President Mwai Kibaki's time. And first and foremost, how was it working with Mzee Mwai Kibaki?
Working with Mwai Kibaki was the best thing one could hope for, because Mwai Kibaki never, ever interfered with what you are doing. You therefore had to do your best, because he would of course know when you are not doing your best, but he will never ask you. But you will see, you will see when you meet him, you can tell. So he always left you to do your best. If he doesn't interfere with you, then you know your best, you do your best.
Also, how were you able to turn around the tax regime?
Okay, let me tell you, when I joined KRA, they were largely manual systems. So one of the things we try to do is to make sure, particularly customs, which is a big source of revenue, was fully electronic, and we brought in Simba, which I think, in my view, revolutionized the revenue collection for customs all over the country. See, customs is collected in all the border posts, in wherever people are coming through, border post, the airport, the port, all those places. If you don't have a working system, then you do not, then a lot of goods you pass through. And customs was probably the major beneficiary of the systems changes that we instituted in KRA.
Okay, then also right now, President William Ruto wants the Kenya Revenue Authority to be more friendlier. With your experience, 9 years in KRA as the boss, do you think this is achievable?
KRA has one rule: collecting taxes. There are other bodies set up by government to promote other aspects of business. If KRA was to start interfering with what other bodies do, then would it be collecting taxes? You get me? And there are other bodies to promote the industry. Aren't there? Are there? So KRA should do its work, which is to collect taxes. If you start thinking, if you don't collect taxes, there will be no employment, that's not its responsibility. You, as an employer, should pay taxes and take care of your staff. If you are pricing, because if you can't pay taxes and take care of your employees, it must be pricing. improve change your pricing. When you are being asked to pay taxes, how can somebody how can you see somebody as friendly asking you to pay taxes? You or anybody. You should feel it is your duty. It is your duty because so the way I think to make the taxpayer feel they are being paid, they are paying properly, is to provide them services. Make sure that the roads are working. Make sure that the education system, whatever government provides, is being provided properly. But if you just collect taxes and the roads are, the mess they are, I didn't mean to say they are in a mess now, but the roads are impassable. The schools, I don't know, the hospitals, then people tend to take the money. But if you show them that the taxes they are paying are being used for their benefit, they will pay. They will pay because they know one person, you as a person cannot build a hospital. But as a government, you can. So you give government money so that it can provide you with services like hospitals, for example.
Also, Ruto wants to, he directed the ministries to cut back 300 billion. One, is this achievable? If it is, what impact will it have, cutting back and cutting the costs?
I think it is. I think it's achievable. I think the president had looked at the data and seen loopholes that could be dealt with. The expenditure which was unnecessary. I have no doubt. I mean, he is an experienced person. He has been in government for a long time. He must know that 300 billion is possible to cut back and continue providing the service without cutting salaries. Because salaries are not the main thing.
Now, as an expert in the KRA for 9 years, what kind of advice would you give to the president on cutting these costs of to reaching the 300 billion?
The new government must make sure that the people it has in KRA are honest people. They are people who will not be going around stealing, but it must make sure they are well paid. Because when I went there, I was getting a lot of money, more money than, and I think it is the same. What I'm getting is what Buru is getting, I think. 1.5 million. I waited for 18 months until I negotiated 1.5 million, and they gave me 1.5 million. After I gave them an 8 billion shilling excess of revenue collection. Okay? Then they realized. Then I gave my commissioners 1 million, and the other staff, I give them more money. If you give KRA staff money, they will work. If you don't, they will collect for themselves. So you must take care of the revenue authority. And I think even in other government, institutions, you must make sure that the people who you expect to deliver service for you are well paid. They are taken care of. You can't expect an askari who is earning, I don't know how much they earn, then somebody comes there with doing something illegal and offers them 50,000 shillings that they don't take.
Also, how do we, as a country, do your tips on how to generate more revenue?
If you pay your taxes, then demand services from the government. If the government doesn't give you the services for which you have paid, vote it out. Get another one. We have a democracy.
Well, thank you for having us in your house, and thank you for giving us the tips on tax. And his clarion call always will be tulipa ushuru tujitegemee. The former General Commissioner of the Kenya Revenue Authority, Michael Waweru Gitau. Thank you for keeping us. Thank you for tuning in to TV 47. My name is Stanley Ringita. You can always talk to us on our social media platforms, such TV47KE on Facebook and Twitter.